There are a ton of great places to live anywhere around the Austin area, but the area that seems to be getting the most attention, at least here for the last little while, are the North Austin suburbs. And I want to take y'all through these today. And, I've done another video. It's on the channel, kind of giving you an overview of where everything is in the entire Austin metro. I want to come here a little bit more granularly and kind of walk through not just where the suburbs and things are here in these areas, but also some of my favorite spots and things about them that you might want to know if you are going to be moving here, and just some of the best ways to get around when you get here. So before I get into it, I'm going to jump into the map. Take a second. If you're moving here, take down this number. I'm making this video. I hope it gives you value. Hope it really helps you out. But even more than that, if we can help you make the move here to the area, I've partnered up with a great agent here in the area. I make the videos, and when you call, he's the one that's going to help you make the move here. He's in some of the other videos. That's Luis. That's who you see there in one of our other videos. We can help you make that move here. But so take that down. But let's go ahead and jump into this. I want to get into the map and show y'all what we're looking at here on the north side of the Austin area. And when you look at Austin, North Austin suburbs, most of those are going to be here in Williamson County. That's the area that I have highlighted here. And more so than that, it's really going to be kind of this area of Williamson County. You really kind of get out. We're not really talking about suburbs so much. Jerrel has kind of got a little bit of new growth going up towards Jerrel on the very far north here. That's going up I-35. But generally, when I'm talking North Austin suburbs, I'm going up to Georgetown. I'm going over to Liberty Hill along that Highway 29 corridor going through there. But also, Taylor has kind of gotten in the mix. I would have probably said the same thing about Taylor being a little far out here a while back, and it is, but you got just this massive development. And I've got the drone shots. You can see this, the Samsung facility. It's actually here on the kind of the southeast side of Taylor there. But that's a huge thing, and that may be bringing you to the area. Let me know in the comments what is bringing you to the area, because I definitely am curious about that. And depending on what that is, I can kind of maybe tailor some future videos. I can tailor some future videos to give you the content that you're looking for. So let me know that. Let me know if you've got specific questions. But you've got that out there. You come in a little bit more to Hutto, and so both of these are kind of on the edge, I guess, going out this way of what I'd call the metro area. But Taylor is a really nice little small town. It still has that small town feel, at least for right now. I don't know, with all this huge growth, with all the money and investment pouring in here with Samsung, will it retain that? I don't know. It seems to be things just keep growing, and that is one of the things that goes. You lose that small town feel. But even a little bit more in here, I feel like you still have that with Hutto. Hutto has such a cool little unique identity with it. And the Hutto hippos, you see the hippo. You drive around Hutto, you see the hippos everywhere. They've also got the co-op there, which is really seems like it's just getting started. They've got a lot of room to grow and build more things in the co-op area. You see here on, I'll give you a drone shot of that. But that's all right there, kind of on the edge. I'm going to work the edges, and then we're going to get into the main ones that you probably hear a little bit more frequently. But these areas out here are definitely places that people are moving to just because all the stuff that is coming there. And then you still have everything you need in these towns. I mean, Hutto has tons of stuff with the restaurants and the shopping and pretty much everything you want. I'm not saying you've got like the outlets or anything like that, like you've got over in Round Rock, but you've got your big box stores and your kind of daily essentials, along with some great restaurants, some local restaurants, as well as your chains and stuff there in Hutto. And it's also right here along this 130 corridor that runs up and down the east side of Austin. That is your toll road. That's going to get you up and down pretty quickly. So even if you're going to be coming down to the airport a lot, if you're going to be traveling, if you're going to be working at Tesla, which is down here, pretty much right adjacent to that right there. If you're going to be building that Cybertruck, how about the Cybertruck? I just saw they did their delivery event for the first few of those. Pretty crazy. I don't know. I'm going to probably keep driving my F-150 for a little bit, but I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see those on the roads driving here around Austin. But getting back up here on the north side as we come in, again, I said you got Jerrel, you've got some new development up there, some more affordable homes as well. So if we've had people that are looking for something a little bit more affordable, you can go up to Jerrel. The problem there is you got to deal with I-35, and that's your main artery. And I can't stand I-35. It's worse when you get down into Austin. It's not so bad up in this part, but that's your main artery through there. Even though they're not doing so much work, I used to drive a ton on this road going up to the north here, back and forth, and you get up past Temple, going through Waco, It's terrible, but that's regardless of if you live in Jerrel or not. I'm from East Texas originally, so still drive that actually a pretty good bit. But East Texas, all the way up there in the northeast corner, is where I am from. And yeah, I-35, it's a pain. Much rather go through the country over here if I'm going up to East Texas and go out that way than go up I-35. It just kind of is what it is. But back down here in, I did not mean to click on that. Back down here in the Georgetown area. Georgetown is probably Georgetown and Liberty Hill, but more so Georgetown has its own unique identity as a town, as a city of its own on this side. You've got the beautiful Georgetown downtown square. A lot of rhyming words. It's hard to say. But you got the downtown square there in Georgetown. They claim it the most beautiful town square in Texas, and it is a pretty beautiful little downtown square. I also went in here recently, tried a Mexican restaurant down here that I hadn't been to the other day. I would say it wasn't as good. I'm not going to call it out because I'm going to say it wasn't as good as the one I went to up here. Up on the north side. I haven't been to Monument Cafe. I've heard a lot about that one, but the one that I liked was actually, it kind of has a more hole in the wall feel to it. And that's El Chorito. And actually not Monument Cafe. You got El Monumento as the Mexican restaurant. Monument Cafe is not a Mexican restaurant. And then right there to the north side of downtown, you got one of the great little swimming holes in the area. As you know, as you hear probably endlessly, it does get very hot here in Texas, and we're looking for some water to cool off in the summer. Blue Hole Park's a good place there. People will be out there, grilling and just having a good time right here along this whole area. It's just a cool spot in the summer. Free, you don't have to pay anything to get in there. So that's always nice too, and you can save some money. It's probably going to take you a good 40, 45 minutes or so, maybe more if, it's peak traffic time to get to downtown Austin from Georgetown. And about the same, if not a little bit more, from over here to Liberty Hill. As we come over on Highway 29, we get to the Liberty Hill area. And this area between here is where there is just tons of massive growth. Some of this is actually part of Leander. Some of it's going to be part of Liberty Hill and the various school districts there. And that's significant because Leander is one of the top rated school districts in the entire area and encompasses Leander and Cedar Park with that and part of this area up through here. But you just have a ton of massive growth up here. Ronald Reagan Boulevard, where that crosses over 29. Really nice. One of the nicest HEBs I've been in is right there. And if you don't know yet, if you're moving here, you will know about HEB, but you probably heard about it already. But anyway, HEB, it's one of the nicest ones around here in this area, but they've got a whole little commercial development coming up around that. But you've also got the Santa Rita Ranch is the big one that's kind of running through here. Really, all of this is all the Santa Rita Ranch. All the way over here from 260 over here to the other side of Ronald Reagan, all the way over here. All this is Santa Rita Ranch, and then you get the Morning Star community there, neighborhood. All these master plan communities are here as well. And even run up a little farther that way there, you get all that. So you get a lot of those. There's more of those along this area. Honestly, I don't know if I could even remember all of these. There's so many of these big communities that they've built up through this area. But all these schools, Liberty Hill is still a pretty highly rated school. Before we get to the end of the video, I'll run through and kind of look at school ratings in a lot of these areas. But Liberty Hill is a smaller town than Georgetown. Georgetown kind of looks like it started as a small town and got a little bit bigger, but maintained some of the charm. Liberty Hill is still a small town, even though there are a ton of people living around out here now, even if they don't live in the city limits here. If I click this, of what is Liberty Hill? Liberty Hill is not very big. You see these limits here, but you also see all of this development that is coming out in neighborhoods and places. And a lot of these you can get land. One of the things that's nice out here, you can get a little acreage, and it's not, it's come up a lot in price, but you can still get something without jumping into the millions to get a couple acres here and a house. Where you get a little closer, you get a little farther south, it becomes harder and harder to do. Another thing cool out here that's been going on forever to get them to open it up is this River Ranch Park here. And you can see there, it's a cool spot. They took years and years and years to develop this thing here. But it's a really cool spot right there. And if you live up here on the north side of Leander or Liberty Hill, you're right there along that. There's some cool little neighborhoods too here. Just tons of little acreage or at least bigger size lot neighborhoods as you get up to Liberty Hill from Leander. Now, before we move on from Liberty Hill, I want to say some of my favorite restaurants really in the whole area are up here in Liberty Hill, one of which in particular, the Dahlia Cafe. If you know anything about me, you know I love a good chicken fried steak. And yes, the Mexican food around the area is good too, but chicken fried steak is my favorite. And Dahlia Cafe has a great one. And they got some other cool things here too. They've got a brewery down here. You got Hell or High Water, which is going to be right in the little downtown here. If we come in this way, you can see that. And I'll give you an aerial shot there. You can see. So you got this nice little Main Street area in downtown. I wouldn't call it a downtown square, but you got a little Main Street running through town. And on the north side of Main Street, you've got another little cool spot up here called Main Street Social, which is kind of like, I would call it like a food court area. And they've got this cool little outdoor area where you can let the kids run around and play. They can do live music sometimes out there. But you got several different food options in there. So you've got pizza, ice cream, burgers, maybe a couple other things. It has been a little bit since I've been in there, but they've got things that kind of swap out too in there. So that's a pretty cool spot as far as Liberty Hill. Moving on down into Leander. The thing about Leander, and we've done it, I'll pop the video up at the top of the screen, and I'm stuck in this little box, so I can't point to it like I usually like to, but it's over there. If you go to the far other corner of the screen, we did a video talking about some of the stuff going on in Leander and the neighborhoods, and you've got a pretty good range of neighborhoods. You got new construction starting in the 300s in Leander, and that's in, again, the top rated, or one of the top rated school districts in the area. You've got that on the north side of Leander. But as you work on down here, you've got a lot of newer things. This is very much a suburb, though. It's a very suburban feel. It does not have the small town feel like you get in maybe Georgetown, or definitely not like you get in Liberty Hill. But you're still pretty close to those if you want to visit that. But you don't really get that in Leander. You get definitely suburb. Now, one thing that is important with Leander is what is coming, not necessarily what is there, but what is on the way. And you do have a ton of stuff that is on the way here in the Leander area, specifically right up here in this area. This is where you're going to have, if I switch over to this view, you can see all this area they've cleared out here. You do have the metro, the Cat Metro rail that comes up here to Leander. So if you want to be able to commute downtown with public transportation, you do have that here in Leander. It is a good long ride to get down there on it, but you can park and ride right there next to the North Line development, which is the big thing that's coming there in Leander. They're kind of billing it as something similar to the Domain. And if you aren't familiar with the Domain is just a big, huge multi-use area. I don't know if it's going to have like the high end things like the Domain does in Austin. Maybe it will. I don't know the details of what kind of stores are going to be there yet, but a lot of, retail, commercial, office space, as well as residential apartments and condos and things like that too. It's going to be there. So it's supposed to be really nice and kind of more or less take the place of that downtown square that you're kind of missing from Leander. But in terms of things you need, you've got pretty much everything you need in Leander. And this is also kind of considered Leander. So if you get over here on the other side of Ronald Reagan Boulevard, you're kind of in Leander over here too. So all of this on both sides of the 183 toll road and the old Highway 183 running through here if you don't want to pay that toll. But I can tell you, if you're going to be living up on this side of town, that is something to know. So if you're taking notes, if you live in Liberty Hill, Leander, Cedar Park, get ready. You're going to be paying these tolls probably, because you're going to probably want to avoid the stoplights and everything that do here. Even if you're somebody who is, usually you're ahead of time, you're not having to rush. Sometimes you're going to have to take those tolls. You're going to need to get that Texas tag so that you can save a little money on those tolls, but it's still going to add up if you use it a lot. But that's Leander, and Leander, like I said, is right here on the north side of Cedar Park, and they both share the same school district. Even though Cedar Park is really the more established suburb, I will say again, like Leander, it really has the suburb feel, not the small town feel. They've got some stuff down here that's coming up, what they call the Bell District here in Cedar Park, which is coming up here right off of the old 183, kind of in this area right through here. This is going to be the Bell District there. So they've got a lot of new stuff Definitely going to do a video about that in the near future. But you can go look that up. You can see the development plans for the Bell District. That's going to be pretty cool, right there in Cedar Park. But generally in Cedar Park, you have everything. You have everything that you could want, except for a small town downtown square. You got all your chain restaurants, including something that's, I guess it's been in the area now for a little bit, but you've got your In-N-Out Burger there. Blue Corn Harvest. I like Blue Corn Harvest. They do kids eat free on Monday, which is nice. You know, it's another thing here to point out that it's a lot of these are very family friendly suburbs. You see a lot of businesses that have things that cater to families, whether it's kids eat free or playgrounds or splash pads or things like that. You get a lot of that up in all of these North Austin suburbs, which is probably why they have been so popular. But right here along Whitestone Boulevard, that is kind of the center of everything Cedar Park. And then running up here north of that, you've also got your Costco up through here, and your Whole Foods and everything else there. You've got the HEB Center. So if you've got, you want to go check out some events and things, you want to check out some hockey, you can go down there and see some hockey at the HEB Center. You can go see the Stars play. But all of that is there. A lot of stuff going on there. Not quite as much as maybe downtown in Austin, but you got some fun stuff you can check out there in Cedar Park without having to go down into Austin. And Cedar Park is going to be, if you want to get downtown, I'm saying about 25 minutes or so generally to get downtown. But all of these, I think if you're going to be in the kind of the tech area, if you're coming here for that's what's bringing you to Austin. All of that is here on the north side of Austin anyway. The gate, which you see here, Gateway, this is also this is where the Domain is, and kind of coming up from there, Parmer, you've got the Tech Ridge, you've got the Apple campus over in this area as well. I think we're right, and EA Sports is over here. It's not EA Sports, it's just EA, but EA Sports, it's hard not to do it. But anyway, all that's right in there. So if you're coming here for something like that, it's all right there in that area. So if you're in Cedar Park, you're going to be close to it. But if we come on across here, just like in Cedar Park, you're going to be close to it here in Round Rock too. Now, Round Rock is another one that kind of it's I wouldn't say small town, but it definitely has its own unique identity as Round Rock. And you do have a nice little downtown area in Round Rock, but you also have the La Frontera area here, where you've got a lot of shopping, business, commercial, big box stores, all that kind of stuff is here in this area. And then you got the little downtown area, which is more right here. This is where your water tower is, your Round Rock Donuts, all that is in that area. Over here on the east side, you've got the Dell Diamond. You've got the massive Old Settlers Park here, which is really nice to come check out and just kind of relax. You can go for a walk, run, bike. You can do all that there. And then right across the street, right across 79 from there, you've got Kalahari, which is the world's largest indoor water park. It's right there in Round Rock here on the east side. And they've got a huge arcade area in there too. It is not the most affordable place to go to. It's kind of pricey in my opinion. I don't know, but if you're going to spend some money, it's cheaper than going somewhere like I guess Disney World. If you want to save some money and do something here locally, you can do it there, and I guess it's not too bad if you put it in that light. But also here in Round Rock, if we come up, not quite all the way to Georgetown, you've got IKEA and you've got the Round Rock outlets right there, Bass Pro Shop. All of that is going to be right there on the north side of Round Rock. And from there, we probably would also want to include Pflugerville, which it is going to actually be back in Travis County. So everything else we've been talking about has been in Williamson County. Pflugerville is going to be here in Travis County. So Pflugerville has its own little new development area here as well. It's also right here along the toll road. You've got a Costco there, all your big box stores, and some local stuff there. And they do have a nice little downtown area as well. If we jump down here into kind of like the core part of Pflugerville, you can see where that is. We did a video. I'll pop that one up again where me and Luis went to check out the downtown area. We went and ate at El Rincon, which is one of his favorites. He grew up here in Pflugerville. So you've got all that there. You've also got Lake Pflugerville, which is great if you want to get out and, kind of jog around here. You can enjoy the little beach area that they've got. So that's there, and lots of new developments around that as well. So that should pretty much have you covered on where everything is around the North Austin suburbs. But I did mention, I promised we would look at the school district so you'd get an idea of what's going on there. And so if we look over here at the best school districts in the Austin area, you had Eanes, which is a very pricey one to get into. It's hard to get in to, if you're looking to buy a home, expect about a $1.5 million and up to get in there. Dripping Springs is a little bit cheaper, but these are on the east or in the west side of Austin. But you see here, number 3 is that Leander school district, and then right below Leander you have Round Rock. So both of those A-rated school. Those are going to be the bigger ones there. If we keep scrolling down, Liberty Hill also at number 7. All those rated above Austin Independent School District. They're also all a lot smaller than that, so keep that in mind. But even all those, you see there's a lot of A-rated schools, A+, A- rated. Here you see Pflugerville is number 11 in the area. So pretty much wherever you go here in the North Austin suburbs, you've got some great school districts. So that is nice to know. So I hope this did help. Again, if you're thinking about making the move here, take down the number. I would love to help you even more. If you've got other questions I didn't answer about this, put those down in the comments, because we're going to drill into each one of these areas in future videos and give you more detail on each one of those. And I want to know the things that you want to know, because I'm making these videos for you. So let me know that down in the comments. Drop a like if you do like this video. And if you want to know more about the broader area as a whole, you really need to check out that video right there. And I'll see you there.